butthead.
Yep.
Who just I'm trying here.
No, I understand. Yeah, he is.
He just wants power. So I mean. Welcome back to Pork Chops, Rice, and Peaches. I'm Noah.
And I'm Richard.
And today we're doing a What's New in Movies reaction video.
There's been all kinds of stuff that's been going on that hasn't been enough for us to make one entire episode, but a lot of stuff that we want to mention, so we're going to throw it all into one.
Star Wars, a new Harry Potter series announcement, and the reaction to the Mario Brothers we might as well throw in there since that movie just dropped, and I'm not sure if I want to do an entire video on it. So,
have you seen it?
I have not seen it, so I'm not sure if I want to, but we'll see. But let's talk about...
I'm going to see it because your sister's going to see it. And if your sister sees it, that means I'm taking her to see it. So if I have to go see it, you have to go see it.
Fine. Well, we'll talk about its reception real quick. All right. So, Star Wars Celebration took place this weekend. Big Star Wars convention. A lot of the stars of the current Star Wars projects showed up. They made a lot of announcements. I have an article by IGN pulled up here just to give credit where credit's due so I can keep track of what they announced. And let's start with 3 new live-action Star Wars movies. One by Dave Filoni, one by James Mangold, and one by Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy. We got 3 brand new ones. We've got...
So these 3 brand new ones, one of them has to do with the Old Republic.
One of them has to do with the Old Republic, and that one is the one by James Mangold, who I knew I recognized that name now that I'm reading it. He was the director of Logan.
Oh, Logan was a good movie.
Logan was a good movie.
I liked
so
Logan.
that might be a good one. Yeah. And the film will supposedly go back to the dawn of the Jedi.
That could be fun.
We're getting a Jedi origin movie.
That could be
fun.
That could be a lot of fun.
That could be. Dave Filoni is doing a Avengers Endgame style wrap up to his Mandoverse that he's been creating with Jon Favreau, apparently.
Okay.
So like Boba Fett's, the Mandos, the Ahsokas, wrapping up the Rebel storyline. Maybe this new Luke, whatever is going to happen, but they're going to do
new Luke.
The Luke after Return of the Jedi.
Oh,
so
yeah.
all these storylines supposedly.
No, they don't have to wrap that one up. They can let that one just silently die.
I don't know if it's going to like. People are saying it's going to wrap it all up, but I think it's more likely going to tie all the characters together for like an Avengers style movie where like a lot of the big plot threads are tied up, but they might leave it just open-ended enough because I don't think you're going to wrap up Mando's and Grogu's storyline in a movie. I don't think you're going to do that.
No.
I don't know if you can do that. So, we'll see. And then the last one, Sharmeen Obaid, I can't pronounce it. Obaid-Chinoy was the director behind Miss Marvel, Saving Face, and will lead a film set after the events of Rise of Skywalker. And this is the controversial announcement that will feature Daisy Ridley back as Rey as she builds a new Jedi Order. Okay.
I never had a problem with Daisy Ridley's performance as Rey. I had a problem with the writing, and the stories, and everything that went with it. But Daisy Ridley coming back as Rey does not bother me in the slightest. It could be very interesting. Let's see what they do with it.
If I don't like the Rey character because of the writing, and I agree with you. I don't dislike Daisy Ridley. I think she did the best that she could with that performance, and honestly I think she did a good job for what little she was given to work with. So I mean, kudos to her. I don't know if we need a new Rey movie set 15 years after the sequel trilogy, but if you put, like we say in most of our videos, if you put the time in and you write a good script and you put good characterization into it, good character development, then if it's a good movie, it'll be a good movie.
So here's the thing. When I first learned about that crossed my mind, and my thoughts on this haven't changed. I'm rewatching Rebels in preparation for the Ahsoka Tano series.
Of course, which we'll get into in a minute.
Right, all those characters are coming back, and I want to remind myself, since it's been a couple of years, what was going on in that storyline.
Yeah.
And the episode that I was watching today was the episode where Kanan Jarrus is trying to teach Sabine Wren how to use the Darksaber. And what that episode revealed was that Kanan Jarrus struggles to teach. He's impatient. He is harsh. He does not give compliments at all. And all of that is a reflection of his own insecurity and his own incomplete training, because he never really completed his training. He never saw, as a young adult, a master teaching a student.
Yeah.
And so all of that comes out. And so we get this character study of an incompletely trained Jedi trying to train another Jedi.
Yeah.
Now, what are they going to do with Rey that's different than what I just saw this afternoon with Kanan? And we've watched that with Kanan teaching Ezra.
Yep.
And then Kanan coming to terms with his own position as a Jedi.
Yep.
And then Kanan, struggling to teach Sabine.
Yep. I think the beauty of Kanan is, by the end, I think he was a complete Jedi. He was not a complete teacher. He was not a complete swordsman. He wasn't a fan. He wasn't like the greatest Jedi who ever lived or anything. But I think, having come to terms with his position in life and through his study of the Force, which he continued to do in the series, I think he became a complete Jedi who had a better understanding, and you could consider to be a true Jedi.
Blind fighting skills were impressive.
Very.
And so he had to be in tune with the Force, which means that his growth as a Jedi had to be excellent. So
if you do something like that, I mean, don't copy it, beat for beat, but if you do something similar to that, because I see where you were going with this. Rey got 2 days of training before she faced down Snoke and Kylo Ren again, and then I guess a couple years under Leia.
Maybe. And there's I remember having similar questions after Return of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
And a friend of mine was reading all of the Star Wars novels, and I never bothered reading them. And I just remember thinking to myself, really, Luke's going to start a Jedi Academy? That whiny little farm boy is going to go train other people? He doesn't know his blank from his elbow, you know? So I do have a little bit of a problem with this. However, are we going to see anything different when we see the origins of the Jedi if we go back to the Old Republic?
Yeah.
Because we are talking about people who are learning to use the Force and trying to come together and start this order. They don't even have all the rules that Yoda was preaching to everybody for 800 years.
Yeah.
So,
It'd be very interesting for them to showcase the differences between the original Jedi and the Jedi we got in the prequel era.
Right.
I think that would be a really cool show. How far they've come / how far have they fallen.
Well, here's another thing, and I'm probably more interested in this than I am interested in anything that happens with the Jedi of the Old Republic. I'd really like to learn how the Sith got started.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I would love something to focus on the Sith is because Dooku has become one of the most interesting characters in the Star Wars universe. Because Dooku's motivations were good. It's just that his solution was bad. And I'm wondering how many Jedi were struggling with that and thought that they were doing the right thing, only to be knocked down by an up-and-coming person who was just evil and trying to grab power. So it could be and basically, the more I look at Dooku, the more I'm considering him a tragic figure.
Yeah,
he really is. You never see Palpatine as anything but pure evil.
Yeah.
Right.
He's supposed to be. He's supposed to be the ultimate evil. That's what he was always designed as. And Lucas had nothing like for all the BS he spews about, all the plans he had long in development. I don't think he's ever once tried to spin Palpatine as some deep, complicated villain.
No,
he's always been the ultimate bad guy to defeat.
Right.
No backstory really needed. No tragedy in his life that turned him towards the path of evil. He's just a greedy butthead.
Yep.
Who just I'm trying here.
No, I understand. Yeah, he is.
He just wants power. So I mean.
So again, it all comes down to the quality of the writing, and we wait and hope that they don't get gimmicky, that they invest the time into characterization.
Yeah.
Remember that comment when we talk later about Harry Potter.
Yeah. So real quick on this note, I just saw a quote from this article, which I'll link to below. Apparently Dave Filoni said, "I don't know if I'd call it a finale. I think the time period now as the New Republic time period, and it's something that has existed long before we were ever making The Mandalorian. The idea that after Return of the Jedi, there was a New Republic, and that heroes still had to defend that New Republic from the remnant of the Empire. It's a very old idea that was explored way back in the 80s and 90s in Star Wars expanded books, and they brought it into the first season of The Mandalorian because that's what was always there. So maybe they're finishing up the remnants of the Empire storyline, and they can continue to do the Mandalorian, Boba Fett, and whatever else they want to do storylines after this movie comes out. That's what it sounds like. I didn't see this quote before now, so probably not going to wrap up all the ties. But on that line of thinking, Ahsoka.
Yes,
Ahsoka.
So I really hope that Luke Skywalker does not make a single solitary appearance in the Ahsoka series. It was horrible. It was painful to watch. Be gone with him in this de-aging process.
Just hire a new actor. Just
yeah,
give it up. Just hire a new actor.
And I'd really like an Ahsoka that's not all ethereal and like she was in.
I loved Ahsoka in Mandalorian season 2, and I didn't really like her in Book of Boba Fett.
Right.
And it's nothing that Rosario Dawson did.
Nope.
It was just it was two completely different writing, like two completely different people writing Ahsoka, and it's like. No. Mando, because that episode was written by Dave Filoni. It got Ahsoka's characterization, so he was able to direct her in a way that she still felt like Ahsoka, a much more older, battle-weary, battle-hardened.
Yes, as you would expect,
tired is Ahsoka.
Sure,
but there's still that, and I've mentioned this to you because we haven't really talked about it on camera, like at all. So nothing to click on. Subscribe anyway. But like that's that grin that she gives Mando. He like shoots out the cord and wraps her up, and Rosario just looks up in a full Ahsoka gear and just gives him this little smirk, and it's like that's vintage Ahsoka. It's attitude.
Right.
She knows what this is.
Right.
She's fought Mandalorians in the past.
Right.
She already knows how to escape it, and she's got that just slight twinge of cockiness that's still there.
It's that look that Kenobi gives when he fights Anakin, right? When he fights Vader, that same look.
In Kenobi, it's fantastic. So I think if they keep that up, and I think Dave has a lot of involvement in the Ahsoka series.
I hope so.
Ahsoka is his creation.
Okay.
He made Ahsoka,
okay.
In Clone Wars. So if he's involved and he's putting the same level of love and care into this character that he always has. We're going to get a good show, guys. Well, I'm excited.
If you haven't watched Rebels, there's 4 seasons. Watch it. Watch it before you watch Ahsoka.
Because it's kind of just going to be Rebels 2.0.
Well, yeah, when you look at the trailers, we already know that Ezra Bridger's going to be in it.
He was in it.
Right.
There was a hologram of him in the trailer.
Okay, it was
a blink and you missed it.
Okay. Thrawn's going to be in it.
Yes!
Great character. Thrawn's a wonderful character.
Played by Lars Mikkelsen, who was his voice actor.
Is the actress playing Sabine Wren the voice actress? No. Right. Okay.
No, I don't
We do know that we saw Zeb in Mando, so
you
know we're getting Zeb back.
We saw Chopper.
Right. We saw Chopper. That's always fun.
Chopper's being Chopper.
Right. So it was really cool.
Every other word.
Well, but here's the cool thing about the Rebels series. Is it a kids' cartoon? Yes, it is.
Yes.
Is it some of the best writing in Star Wars?
Good.
It is. It's really good
good
writing. It explores Maul in depth.
Yeah.
Right. It continues.
It wraps up his story really nicely.
Yep. It does
beautifully.
The continuation of the Ahsoka Anakin relationship that makes an appearance, and you have this family. And because they approach it as family, you get characters that you care about, the whole bit. Divorce yourself from the fact that it's a kids show.
There's good writing to be had. There's good stories there.
Clone Wars and Rebels has better writing than movies 7, 8, and 9.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Hands down.
Right. So, I would say go watch that in preparation so because Ahsoka is going to pick up where Rebels left off.
Yeah,
and I'm really looking forward to seeing the development of Ezra Bridger.
Yes.
What did he do
in all those years? Because we've kind of seen, we know Hera had Kanan's kid.
Right.
At some point. Because you got a little green-haired Twi'lek kid running around in spaceship. At the end of Rebels.
Yep.
We know that Zeb continued to fight, Hera continued to fight, Sabine went off on her own. And we've got this big thing with the Mandalorians brewing in the background.
Didn't Sabine go after Ezra?
She did for a while.
All right.
And then at the end of Rebels, you get that cliffhanger of Ahsoka the White showing up.
Mm-hmm.
With the staff looking all Gandalf. You didn't catch the reference the first time. I had to drop it again.
Yeah, Ahsoka. Yeah, no.
But, so now they're going off to go look again.
Right.
And we've seen that Ahsoka is continuing the hunt because in Season 2, she's going after this magistrate who's also in the teaser trailer for this. So what happened to her? The lady with the Beskar spear that she's fighting, she's on the bridge.
I didn't even notice that. I didn't even notice that.
We got new characters who have orange lightsabers.
I know.
Despite my brother's gripes with that, I think that's pretty cool because who do you give Ahsoka to fight? She's got to have someone who can keep up with her. She is one of the most powerful Force users at this time. She's one of 3 people. 3 people now. I'm gonna call them ship catchers because that's a power scaling feat now. Is who can catch a ship and hold it in place. She's one of 3. One of 2 if you're me, because I refuse to acknowledge that. Episode 9, Rey stops one.
Oh.
Anyway, she's a ship catcher. She can stop a ship in midair with the Force. That's a feat.
The orange lightsabers I find intriguing. I joked earlier that it was the agnostic Jedi, the Jedi who aren't quite believers. They when it's kind of funny when Mace Windu shows up with a purple lightsaber, and we find out behind the scenes he got a purple lightsaber because Samuel L. Jackson thought it was cool to have a purple lightsaber, and so they come up with this idea that it's someone who dabbles with the dark side of the Force, right? And the whole bit, and apparently he knows one of the Jedi forms that very few people can master because you have to tap into evil powers in order to be able to do it,
and
et cetera,
stay in control and all that.
But orange, man, that's on that red spectrum.
Yeah.
That makes you wonder.
It makes you wonder.
Which way they're going. Or, is that all that's left? Kyber crystals, have they been exhausted? Have they been depleted?
We've got yellow, we've got orange, we've got purple.
Yeah, but people with a yellow lightsaber just run from the fight.
Black.
Those are the Kyber crystals found in France. Those are...
I thought you were going to make the white flag joke. Not yellow. Okay.
That's the cheapest low-hanging fruit joke going. France has a long history of being sensational fighters.
Against their own. Anyway.
Damn.
Against whatever government is in charge of France at the time. They are amazing fighters.
So what did you think of the end of Bad Batch? Before we dig ourselves in a hole with...
I was not... It's good to see they have the guts to even consider killing off a main character.
Yes.
That threat is still viable. And I know that people have survived heights before in Star Wars, and I'm really hoping Tech didn't. Not because I don't like Tech. I like Tech, but when you tease a character death like that and you don't follow through on it, that becomes an issue. And you gotta have stakes for these stories to be more believable. All right, somehow Palpatine returned. I'm gonna put the obvious Rey joke in the thumbnail, but I'm so original. But if Tech somehow survives, like we've already seen Echo survive. We thought Echo died in Clone Wars. So when he came back, it was believable because it was an explosion, and he's missing limbs, and he's scarred, and he's not growing any hair, and he's pale because he's been locked up on life support. So that was a little more believable. Plus, we like Echo, and we watched literally every character from that squad of 4 get killed off. The rookies, rookies episodes of Clone Wars, which are some of the best in my opinion, because I just loved that group and their dynamic. But it was nice to see one manage to survive because it was believable. Soldiers get blown up in war, they lose limbs. Yeah, they can still survive that. So, but Tech falling from a ski lift into a ravine and the thing's crashing down on him, and then you drop the goggles in front of them, it's like, let the sacrifice mean something.
You're the one who pointed out this is the only thing that we found left, of him. The goggles could have flown away. I pointed
it out because the general rule of storytelling is if you don't see a body, they're not dead. Right. Schrodinger's cat. Right. That's the rule of storytelling. Don't trust a death. Unless you see the body.
Hope they don't do that.
I really hope they don't do that. It's hard to tell because this is a kids aimed show, so you can't really show the dead bodies as often, especially of the main characters. Right. There's the 7 taboo things you can't put in a kids cartoon. Bad Batch is a little more for the tween audience, so they don't want to go all out and show the main characters dying everywhere. But please let the sacrifice have meant something.
The Bad Batch has been fun because I haven't made any effort to predict what goes on in the future. I haven't made any effort to try and guess how the show is going to end. And I kind of assumed, and I was wrong. I looked this up. I was wrong. I thought the voice actress of Omega also voiced the sister.
Yeah.
Which was the big surprise, at the end of the episode. When I first saw that character, I said, wow, that sounds a lot like Omega. And they must have just, had the same voice actress do it.
Yeah.
And that's not the case, but I shouldn't have been surprised when it turned out to be a sister. They sound so much alike. That was a nice surprise. Seeing her reunited with Crosshair and how that relationship's going to play out is going to be very interesting to watch. I thought originally that they would have Crosshair back with the unit at the end of season 2. And then they would move forward. And so this is a complete surprise.
Yeah.
We should have seen the death of Tech coming. It was kind of Tech-centric, some of these episodes.
A lot of these episodes had a lot of Tech focus.
And so we lose him. And that's a big surprise, but it's great character development for the team, for Omega. The team had to know eventually one of them was going to die.
Yeah.
I wonder who is going to survive season 3. We just found out that there's going to be one last season.
Yeah,
and
that was another announcement. Yeah,
you know,
one more season of Bad Batch, which makes me wonder, when's Omega showing up in Book of Boba Fett?
You know,
I made that prediction.
You did
that video. And and it blew your mind. And we got the new emote of Richard Pogger face.
Oh, that's right. That was that episode, wasn't it? That was the.
She has to. I would be shocked if she doesn't come back at some point in the future as an unaltered clone with the lifespan to do that sort of thing.
Okay.
Show up and meet her brother, Boba.
Right.
You know? But now she's got another sister, and it's like, wait, what?
Well, you know, they came from a cloning facility. There could be far more. That's a bag that they could reach into over and over again.
Yep.
You're considering how many clones they made. Right. So that in and of itself. I don't. The idea of you mentioned earlier, since we're talking about clones, Palpatine, coming back cloned doesn't surprise me because I believe that was part of Lucas's intention.
It was one of his original. It was one of his original
ideas. He always kind of knew that was going to happen.
And it was one that was explored in some of the books and comics. Afterwards, he cloned himself. So, yeah, it's not a surprise that they're going with that route, especially when JJ just pulls Palpatine out from the rear end and just throws him in there. So, Dave's doing the obvious thing and going, well, we'll fall back on this old Lucas thing because we can make it work.
So I thoroughly enjoyed season 2 of Bad Batch, and I'm looking forward to season 3. Unfortunately, it's going to come to an end, but that's okay.
But you know what is getting a season 2 and will also be coming to an end? They also revealed that Andor Season 2 is aiming for an August 2024 premiere date.
Ooh, I did not hear that.
Well, it's going to, based off this...
Okay.
August 2024, so next year. Yes.
Andor was fantastic. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, and that actually makes me wonder if... So, according to this article, they started filming Season 2 in November, which means that they're probably either wrapped or close to wrapping.
So now it's all post-production?
So now it would be post-production. So if they're giving it this much post-production time before they start dropping trailers and dropping everything else, then they might be putting a lot of effort into season 2, which
season 1 was excellent.
Season 1 was excellent. I have high hopes for season 2.
Cool.
There are also
any other Star Wars announcements coming up?
The Acolyte.
What is the Acolyte?
The Acolyte is supposed to come out in 2024. It's created by Leslie Headland. This is another one of those that Kathleen Kennedy threw into production to try to do stuff. I don't know how that woman is still hired. Rumor has it that she has to make a hit film, otherwise she gets booted. Apparently she was told that by Disney. I don't know how much merit there is to that. But this was one of her pet projects. I think it's supposed to be female-led, but the creator says that she's always wanted to delve into the Star Wars universe and tell the story of this entire world that I love so much from the perspective of the bad guys. It's supposed to take place in the High Republic setting, so not quite the Old Republic, but not during the prequels.
All right.
I don't know. Do not know. We'll see how it goes. They did share a trailer.
Well, I said earlier, I thought, a focus on the Sith and how they got started could be a good thing.
Could be a good thing.
So, maybe that's what she's going to offer, but...
Skeleton Crew also got a reveal. Tales of the Jedi is getting a second season.
Yes, I saw that today. It's coming out in August.
I think so, yeah.
And I'm looking forward to that.
Star Wars Visions Volume 2.
Right.
If it's anywhere near as good as the first episode of Volume 1, it'll be great.
Right.
And some other generalized Star Wars news, but that was about it for Star Wars Celebration.
Well,
2023.
We'll just hope. Let's just hope they've put time into good characterization and good writing and no cheeseball fluff stuff.
Yeah, let's hope.
So there we go.
Yep.
Now, that is our Star Wars update. If you haven't caught any of that,
all the trailers and everything are live. Go watch them and tell us what you think.
Yeah, we'd love to hear your reaction to all these different trailers and what do you think's coming up. So leave a comment down below.
Yeah.
All right.
That's all she wrote.
All right. Thanks for tuning in to Pork Chops, Rice, and Peaches today.
We'll see you next time. We are good to go. Welcome. Go for it. Never mind.
I was looking for something to mute the sound of the coffee mug.
Oh, okay. Okay.